the things that I'm gonna kind of teach you guys today is we have a palette and colors, and sometimes they get dry, and most of you guys kind of scrape them off and throw it away. One of the things that I found that's really cool, and I'll show you some later on. I'll show you some photos and paintings that I've done that have this incredible texture, and that you can do some incredible paintings on this texture. So what I actually do is take a canvas, and I start getting a palette knife and just start rubbing it like this. And I create texture. This maybe takes me 2 or 3 weeks to get it like this and create a heavy texture. And then I'll get a small canvas. This is actually what I'm going to paint. I like this canvas. You see how much paint it has on it. And so, but I start with this, and I keep adding and keep adding. And I'm going to do this little light bulb right there. I know this is some really queer, just really queer stuff that doesn't seem like it makes that much sense like the way I'm doing it, but I'm just painting them, having fun. The technique here is the same technique that I've showed you before with the bristle Filbert brushes that I'm using. But more than anything, I'm just going to show you how to have some fun and create stories or create moods, stuff like this. So one of the things I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how to take this. I'm going to take this brush right here, and I'm going to take this little the same oxide color, and I'm going to kind of feather the edges right here. So what I'm trying to do is frame it off in a sense. So you see this right here? I'm just sitting there and just kind of painting it. Now I want some of the color to literally come through that. I didn't work on this to get rid of it. I didn't work on this to lose it. So here I'm getting this whole thing like so, and there, just creating some nice mood to it. Now this is some mood. So here's this really nice. Alright. Now, most of us think that this would be a little harder to paint on the surface, and the truth of the matter is it's not necessarily any harder than any other surface. You just have to work it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this color, and I'm going to make this light coming down like so. And I'm pretty much going to draw this whole fixture. This is an old light bulb. I kind of like them. I have a couple of paintings that I've actually done this way, and the thing about this texture, it kind of lends itself to some really incredible moods. So I'm going to kind of create here like so. Here's my light bulb. Now, remember, this is, unfortunately, this canvas is really heavy because I've applied it maybe about 10 times every time I finish with a color. So, one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to start working on some detail. We had talked earlier, when you draw something, you have to think of it not of what it is, but you've got to think of it of a shape. One of the shapes that I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down and I'm going to open this. Here's how to turn it off and on. So here's this right there. So I'm going to create this little knobby old. You know, you guys, is there any? I wonder if there's. This is an old way of turning on a light bulb. So here's this, and I'm creating this little beautiful little handle. So now part of it is I'm just drawing it right now, and I'm not really concerned with that the shape might be right or wrong, and the color might be right or wrong. This is just a little drawing. Just trying to get this whole feel to it. Now I'm having to kind of be patient and push color into this contour. There's a lot of contour here, okay? But the beauty, the thing that I find about this is that as I'm working on this, it just really starts to transform really quickly, and it looks pretty cool really quickly. Here's the light right there on this. So I'm going to create this. The purple is weaker than the opaque color that I'm using now. That gives me a shadow. When I start painting like this, sometimes I fall into I really start sensing the depth of this, and it starts kind of transforming out of this this situation. It really starts to come forward. I'm using a palette this time. Random things like this, just to sit there and paint, they're fun for a couple of reasons. The first reason that they're really fun, it challenges your skills, forces you to think out of the box, creates texture. Automatically, you're already creating the texture. So now I'm going to go back to the light, the copper. The question I ask myself sometimes is that when you're painting metals, most it was funny because I remember when I was really young and I wanted to paint copper, so I would actually get copper paint, and unfortunately doesn't work. But the thing about creating things that look like copper or metal, you have to break them down. Like you've got to see it for the light that it has on the area, and being patient and waiting and literally setting each brush stroke is really the hardest thing that you guys are going to do as you're creating, because most people are not patient. They want to do it now. Each stroke has to be precise. So here I'm going to put work on the wire. Now I have a black right now. This is a dark black that I'm using. But the cool thing is that you can paint anything on this kind of surface. You just have to be patient. You have as much control on this kind of surface than on than a smooth surface. And I'm using a bristle brush, so that kind of answers that question. So here's that first one. When I'm working with this, I learn to break stuff apart. Like, I've got this thing. Is it crooked? It's a little crooked, yeah. Well, somebody hit it with a ladder, so here's this right there. So I'm going to put a little bit of light on this. A little light source right there on it. Okay. So I'm going to push this darker. I'll push this darker right here. I'm going to grab this. Push this dark right here. Alright, good. So I'm going to take this, and on the top there's a screw top right here, like so. I'm just setting the dark, and it comes back. This is dark right there. So you can start seeing that something starts to look like it's three-dimensional. I'm not sure if you guys have good. Do we have a good picture in this? Zoom in as close as you possibly can, because it's one of the things in painting this kind of stuff. I'm literally making the color as I need it, and just being patient. Here's a highlight right there. highlight right there. So I'm going to set this color right here, drama. So since I have yellow on this, I'm just going to just put it right where here and there. All right. So the beauty about painting bronze or copper is you can see subtly sometimes, like this brush stroke right here has an orange. And then over here on this side it has orange as well. So this side has orange. This side has orange. There's a little bit orange there. The top has a little bit of orange here. This is what's making the top. Now I'm going to go back to focus on this here. There's a little bit of orange right there. That's gorgeous. When you see color, like I'm seeing this to be brown, this actually right there's actually a little green. This is a little bit brown, but it's but I'm actually going to make it brown. I'm going to create more life here. A lot of this you can tone down later. If you just put it down for right now, you can come back with a couple of brush strokes later and just model it. Part of the creativity of sitting down and creating this old-fashioned, what would it be, a light bulb holder? Huh? Socket. Well, so, well, it's not an Apple phone, so. You know, it's funny because, you know, I don't have a flashlight anymore. I have an Apple that is my flashlight. Life has changed, hasn't it? So here's this. I'm putting green here. Now this kind of balls this way. When you're painting colors like this, one of the things is that if it's a dark color, please understand that your darker colors will take a little bit more to cover. Be patient, put the light colors and then put the dark colors and then come back and swing the light colors on these again. So I'm going to come here through here. This goes here, this goes here, this goes here. There's a big hole right here, literally on my canvas or paint, but I have to push the color here. That's green, this goes there. So now I'm cross-hatching color, mixing it with the other. So I want it to have a value. And so here's this brush right there. When you're painting your dark colors, they can be a dark black, well, a dark black, obviously, but it can be a dark red, a dark purple, a dark blue, a dark green. Your whites can be also white blue, white red, white yellow. There's tons of different colors that you can make colors. You can have a green that has a tinge of red. You can have a green that has more of a blue. And we're responsible to see how the color basically changes or what it does. So part of the beauty of painting is that I get a lot of pleasure out of it. Is it takes my mind, and it's really hard, teaching like this and talking. And the only reason I can do it, and I don't sound like the Rain Man or something like that, is I'm constantly teaching, so I can do it. And if I don't make any sense, it's because I'm trying to do a good job up here, but in the same breath trying to explain what I'm doing. I'm going to go and hit some of the whites. I'm going to hit the yellow with a little bit of white, so it gives it more of a life. So look, the thing is that this yellow right here has a little bit of orange right here, has a little bit of orange in this area with this brown. Now it's mixed it into a brown. The orange, the yellow is dominating a little bit too much, and I'm going to tone it down. And I'm going to tone it down with a white. And look how this is going to go right here. So there's a white right there. You see that? And there's this. This is funny. I'm saying I'm going to tone it down with the white. Well, I'm just making the yellow not be too dominating. I want the yellow to have a little less power. So white has a propensity to make it a little duller. And what I'm doing is I'm blending it in. Now, if I put, like, this is really funny, look. If I take white and just make one mark, it feels bright. But if I take this white and blend it with the rest of the color, it dulls it. So here's this right here. I'm going to create a reflection. Well, I was going to create a reflection. I'm going to create a reflection here. Because it's asking for a little bit more. This. So, okay, there's a way I can grab the color. So I'm gonna scrape the color up, and I'm gonna push and pull. When it happens, it starts to bend. It starts to mix the color as it moves on. So you've got to control it. Most artists, most people that paint just do stuff randomly. The failure in most artwork is not the idea. Some of the ideas that you guys come up with are just freaking ass geniuses. But your execution of color, not being able to control your brush, is the failure in your painting. Being in a rush, not thinking about what you guys are doing, not practicing. To really be a good artist, you truly need sequentially hours behind hours behind hours. It's the key. You could be a mediocre artist, but boy, I'll tell you what, if you paint 1,000 hours behind 1,000 hours, people will look at your work and say, what are you doing? Because those are gorgeous. Your ideas have more life to them. I've realized that my whole problem in becoming better is practice. and giving it time. Time is my problem. The more that I practice, the better I get. And once you figure that making time for you to practice is going to be the distinguishing difference between you being mediocre and having a future in art, is really what you just need to, is really a secret of art. It's just putting time behind it. Most of us don't, look at this right here, look at this, I screwed this up right here. This goes, I'm going to make this bigger. I'm going to make this big right here. That goes right there. That goes right there. So, I screwed up, but I'm going to show you how we can fix it. Time is really the key. For you to become a good artist, it requires time. It requires learning techniques. It's funny because I'll be in bed and I'll be YouTubing somebody else's technique and watch what they're painting or how they're painting. And I'm constantly sitting there and will watch over and over what he's doing and how he's fixing stuff and how he sees things and how he starts and how he finishes. And some of it, after a while, I'm like, I need something new, you know? But the thing is that you've got to learn. You've got to learn to figure out the technique that you want, and you want to own it and make it yours and change it up and combine and switch it up and until it's become something that you're doing. There's that light bulb right there. A part of it. I'm gonna take a little bit of this white. I'm gonna take this little bit of this blue. I'm gonna take a little purple right here, and I'm gonna drop a line of purple right there. A little highlight right there. I'm gonna take this other, a little bit more white, create a little bit of change of light. There. I'm gonna take a little bit of this. I want a little bit more of a drama, so I'm gonna scrape. You see this right? There's a lot of white right there. Look at that. That looks like it's coming out now. So now let's start looking at this light bulb. So the question is ideas. I'm going to take this yellow or orange and I'm going to just wash with thinner and just sit there and literally kind of paint the light bulb in here like so. And part of the problem is not the idea. It's kind of doesn't make any sense. If I'm going to paint this, it has to make some kind of sense. But sometimes you can sit there and just say, yeah, screw it. I'm gonna just have fun. So the question is, what can I do here? Here I'm cleaning up some of this area. Here's my light bulb. I can put all my lights. Here's the lights sitting there. What can I put here? I can put water, like it's water in there. What can I do? I can put an eye. Let's do an eye. Let's do an eye. Okay. So one of the things I'm gonna do is so I'm gonna take this color. I have no idea how I'm gonna make this, how this is gonna look, but we're gonna have fun. So here's my eye. First of all, here's my light bulb. Okay, there's my light bulb. There's my light bulb. Well, so now I'm gonna sit there and make an eye. And there's going to be the filaments that are going to hold the eye out. Alright, so here's this right here. there's that right there. Now my question is, what kind of eye do we want? Do we want a green eye? Do we want a, what kind of eye do we want? What would look good here? Well, I'll tell you what, let's just get the dark part in here. And we'll figure out Alright, we'll put this right here. We'll figure out what exactly. Okay guys, we decided that we're going to paint the eye green. So look, what I normally do in this case is I'm going to paint the eye and then come back and put all the reflections. Okay? And that's what makes it look like the eye is in the glass. So one of the first things that I'm going to do is really push the blacks in, and I'm using some so here I'm going to push this the black. You see how I got some dark blue here, I got some shadow here. Okay, I'm going to give some eyelashes. Okay, so now I'm going to take this, I'm going to grab some green, I'm going to come back in here, there's some green right there, and here's a beautiful green. Now let me just tell you about eyes, okay? Eyes are really, if you can get the eyes done in the painting, in most cases you've done some of the hardest parts. An eye means everything. Or at least by my opinion. I know that people don't. But if you got the eyes wrong, pretty much the painting's wrong. When we look at people, I look at people, I look at their eyes. But eyes to me are really easy to do for a couple of things that practice at them. And I really understand how the eye really works. So do yourself the favor, and next time I'll explain to you, we'll do some techniques on eyes. So what happens is that there's a highlight right there, and the light transfers over and lights the bottom of this. That's the first thing that you guys have to understand. So that's why I'm putting the light right here. And to make it more dramatic, I'm literally putting yellow on this, and then splicing it. So this right here is a shadow. Now this is the beauty. This is the beauty about when you're doing this kind of stuff like this. You can sit there and darken this right here. You see how I'm darkening this, and here's this eye, and I'm darkening the shadow. What happens is the eyelid creates a shadow. You see how my hand? Just imagine this is the eyelid. It creates a shadow like that. Which this is what I'm doing right there. I'm creating a shadow right there across this whole thing. So now I'm going to sit there and create the white of the eyes. That creates a nice contrast. Okay, need a little bit more white. That's right there. So there's a pink, or if you want to call it, the pinkish red, which is the purple. There's a pinkish red right here, which is the huh? This is the eyelid, bottom eyelid. So I'm going to sit there and create this. this right here is going to be where the light's going to be right there. And the thing I've always enjoyed about the eyes is that when you're putting them together, nothing really looks like an eye until you put the highlight. I mean, the highlight is the key to the whole painting. So I'm loading up this really nice little glob of, watch this. Just that right there, it's just beautiful. I take a little bit of this white and create this light come right here. This right there, the beauty of making it depth is if I put a little bit of white right here. So all of a sudden it looks like an eye. It has a lot of depth and feel to it. So this is, so here I'm gonna pull this up right like so. I'm going to take this other brush here like so and push this up right there and encroach it. So now I'm going to start having fun. So here I start looking at this right here, and I see that there's a highlight right there. See that reflection? So now what I'm looking at is the reflections. You didn't cut anything off, right? Huh?
No. I mean,
You can cut any of this stuff that I say right now off.
no.
You can?
I can.
Okay.
I mean,
Give me. I need you to go over there and give me some orange.
okay.
Orange and yellow.
Over. I got a name for the picture.
What is it?
Idea. EYE.
All right.
Idea.
That's a good idea.
Is that too hard?
It's okay.
Start your lesson again.
All right, guys. So here I got some yellow. I'm gonna start putting some little highlights right here. So here I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna warm up the like the light bulb is radiating some light. But I don't want to kill all this. See how this has a halo? I don't want to kill it all. So I'm going to go ahead and just push it down. I'm pushing the color. And here's the color, looks like it's radiating. and here I'm pulling the color and just making it warm. Take a little bit of this orange. Now the orange is careful. You have to start from the furthest thing and push it. Okay. Anyways, guys, so this is pretty much an idea of an eye and a light bulb. And I just screwed this up here in the back. So I'm going to thin this down. Give me some more drama here. So this whole painting is about an idea of taking this old paint and turning it into something that's completely new and different. You're capable of doing pretty much anything. Have fun, enjoy, explore, figure out what you're capable of doing. Don't be scared. Some of this stuff works and some of it doesn't. You know, we do these shows and we try to do the best we can, and if it does good for you, well, thank you, subscribe, and if it doesn't, well, thank you, subscribe. Please enjoy this creativity that we've performed here in front of you. Gives you some ideas that we can do. In the near future, we'll have some more shows. And thank you and enjoy. See you guys next time. Subscribe.